and Amanda always online. Grab your headphones, let's review time. Music's the love and it's divine. Laughs and insights mixed like wine. Every strum and every beat, they analyze, they can't be beat. Tune in on the socials meet. Join the fun and take your seat. If music's your thing, come along. Hear Amanda sing her song. Chris brings the notes all day long. Together they make us strong.
Hey, everybody. Good morning and welcome to Song Swap Showdown. How are you, everybody? And really excited for today's show. Pumped because we got a fun one for everybody here today. Real good one. Tailgating tunes. I am joined by my very special guest host today. He's sitting in that girl's chair today. Mr. Mark Ronick, everybody. How are you? How the heck are you?
Tough shoes to fill for sure. And I will do my best to be that girl today.
That girl.
I tend to, it's funny, you guys, I fall right in between both of you guys with style of music, but if I had to lean, I would probably say it's a little more Amanda than Chris, because I never got into the whole punk rock scene.
Right. Yeah, and the thing is that for the show mostly, I lean a lot into that because it's just a big part of my upbringing, so to speak, especially like during my formative years. But like I've always said, I grew up on a very steady diet of like classic rock, hard rock, Beatles, Rolling Stones, Doors. That's what I grew up on. Then Led Zeppelin, Van Halen, Rush, all the classic stuff. And I'm a huge Van Halen's my top band. That's my number one band. As much as I love the metal and the punk and the hardcore, Van Halen to me is always going to be the Mount Everest of music for me.
Agreed.
But for the purposes of the show, it makes it very funny to bring in the more of the punk and the hardcore stuff and even the metal stuff for Amanda, because she knows nothing about any of it. So obviously you can see what happens when I give her something like baby metal, and then the entire internet erupts and calls her a Karen, and then it just, and by the way, thank you everybody on YouTube, because by you guys doing that, you guys just create more engagement for us. So we appreciate the hate and the love all at the same time, because the algorithm loves it either way. So thank you guys for all the,
and I gotta say, Amanda she's probably the only person I know that genuinely seems to accept hate so well. She handles it beautifully. I don't know how she does it. I don't know anyone else really personally that handles it as well as she does.
Yeah, no, she is a trooper, everybody. So for all of you who leave the comments and think that you're rattling her, good luck.
Mm-hmm.
Good luck, because believe me, and Mark will attest to this, she's dealt with way worse. So way worse than talking about baby metal and just metal in general. So, hey, so our buddy Randall's checking in. Hey, Randall, by the way, Randall's the one who composed using AI to create our new opening theme song there. So
it's awesome. I love it.
So thanks, Randall. He said, hey, Mark, good to see you acting as Amanda today.
Good to see Randall.
Ian from Australia saying, Chris, your co-host Amanda looks a little different today. Has she done something new with her hair?
Uh-oh.
There you go. But yeah, everybody. So, hey, listen, if you are listening to us on RadioGardenState.com, thank you so much for hanging out with us today. And of course, all of you on YouTube and Facebook as well. We appreciate you spending a little bit of your precious time with us. If this is your first time checking out Song Swap Showdown, well, my name is Chris Vaglio. I am one of the co-hosts here. Normally, if this is your first time, you would hear Amanda sitting in the chair, but Amanda's away on vacation, so she won't be here this week or next week. So we have guest host Mark Ronick filling in today, sitting there, having fun with us today. But if you've never heard this show before, how the show normally works is Amanda and I will each swap 3 songs with each other that we think, or maybe we're not sure, that the other one may or may not have heard before. And then we'll rate those songs on a scale of 1 to 5 records, with 1 being a hard pass. That's right. Get out of here. That's a complete miss. That's a skip. All the way up to 5 records, which we always like to deem heavenly music to our ears. That's right. That's going on the Eternity playlist. That's a 5-record tune. That is one that, like, you can listen to it a billion times over. And I'm like, still sounds fresh and new every time. You know what I mean, right? You know that kind of tune.
Sure. And
That's
this is a hard category, by the way.
It is.
To try to surprise one another.
It is a hard category because I'm very interested to see what is similar in our list today. So how we normally choose the themes too is we usually spin a wheel of themes at the end of every episode. So we spun a wheel last week, and what did it choose? It chose tailgating tunes. So, and I go tailgate in and tailgating, tailgate in, tailgating tunes, because, and it was ironic. But it was apropos because this week is actually the start of NFL preseason. We've got August 1st, this Thursday, as of the recording of this show, which is Monday, August 1st. We've got Houston Texans versus the Chicago Bears in the first preseason game of the NFL season. Can you believe it?
I am so excited. You know how I am about all the football, and I've won both my fantasy leagues last year, so I'm excited for the new season. I'm excited for, even though you're wearing the Giants hat, I'm excited for my Commanders this season. I think they're gonna do a lot better than they have in the last couple of years.
Yeah, I think the NFC East is going to be very interesting this year. I think everybody sort of leveled up a little bit. Some teams hopefully took some steps back. I'm looking at you, Eagles. I'm looking at you guys.
I just realized I really shouldn't be acting too proud of my Commanders when we're on a New Jersey radio station.
It's true.
So I'm going to keep quiet about them and respect for being on a New Jersey radio station. And I'm going to say I lived in New Jersey before, and I was brought up for at least the first 7 years of my life in New Jersey and New York. So I've got a little bit of a tie there.
Which is always funny because, right, we have two New York, quote unquote, New York teams, the Jets and the Giants, that have both played in New Jersey now since the Giants since the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
And the Jets since the 80s. And the Jets practice facility is here in New Jersey. And so is the Giants practice facility in New Jersey. Yet they still are called the New York Giants and New York Jets. And listen, you know, I'm one of these that I think it could be time, at least for one. I think one of the teams should change to New Jersey. That's just my thought. I mean, you've been here, you know, but and I get it. A majority of the teams come from, a majority of the fans come from, when it comes to the Giants, you definitely have New Jersey, you have New York, you have Connecticut. You know, I know Connecticut people who come in, they take the train down to the game. So the Giants have a good sprawl. Jets have a great sprawl too. I mean, you get a lot of New Jersey, obviously a lot of New York. So, you know, it's a pretty wide reach. And, yet still it's called New York. So I don't know, you know, I've always found it to be a little something, but I'm sure I don't want to create too much controversy today, but
but even Washington, they play actually in Landover, Maryland. That's where the stadium is, right? So it's the general area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is a general area. So I guess you could say it's New York. I mean, it's better than calling it the New Jersey, New York Jets or Giants, because that's just ridiculous. So I guess you got to pick one.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess New York sounds a lot more prestigious than, unfortunately.
Right.
Sorry, everybody. Sorry, Garden State folks, than New Jersey. But it is what it is. But hey, at least we get to see two football teams duke it out every year. And so today is about tailgating tunes, right? And so when we talk about tailgating, it's just essential to have the proper playlist. I don't care. You got to have the good playlist. Because if you take tailgating as serious as I know I do, you know, you're there, you're locked in. Like I was talking about it because we're on Instagram Live right now. I got a behind the scenes feed. So if you actually want, rather than watching the show, but I am on Instagram right now too, if you want to check that out. But I'd say we usually start, like, if it's a 1 o'clock start game, right? 1 o'clock on a Sunday, we are there when the gates open and we are prepared. We got breakfast, and we've got lunch ready to go, and then we got dinner, because I was saying on Instagram Live on the pre-show is that basically if you stay to the very end of the game, it's impossible to get out of Giant Stadium or MetLife Stadium.
Mm-hmm.
You just you're sitting in like an hour to 2 hours of traffic. It takes you almost an hour just to get out of the stadium, and then once you're on, then but so I'm always of like, hey, you know what? we're gonna be sitting in a car anyway. Why don't we just open up the trunk, fire up the grill, have a little dinner, maybe have one more cold one here, and then by the time everything clears out, clean it all back up, back in the car and home, and you zip right out of there. I'm out of there in like 30 minutes instead of 2 hours. So my day is very planned, and tunes are a huge part of it. So I don't know about you, Mark. Like, how do you tailgate, or is that a thing? I've never actually been to where the Commanders play, but it seems like it's not. That's FedEx Stadium, right?
Yeah,
is that
FedEx Field.
Yeah,
FedEx Field. Although I feel like that might be changing. I feel like that may have ended that contract, and so we might have a new name at some point.
New naming rights.
Could be, yeah.
Ironic Media Field.
that stadium, honestly, inside it sucks. It's nothing great. That stadium. It was built right before all of these new state-of-the-art stadiums were starting to get built. So it was like, it has like a little bit of a newer feel, but it's still got very much that old school basic type of atmosphere. But the tailgate stuff is great. My big thing lately, I haven't been into tailgating as much lately because, and this might be a sign of just, how well your team does, but there are way too many opposing fans at the Washington tailgates these days. And so, and it gets me really aggravated. So I try to stay away from the tailgating as best I can.
Yeah. So I know what you're saying. I mean, it's again, the fortunate thing about being in this area is that you get predominant the fans of the team. However, when a team isn't doing well, you have the invasions happen. Yeah. And that happens a lot with the rival teams, which, is infuriating. So in rival teams, and Mark and I, because for those of you not familiar with NFL football, we are in what is called the Eastern Conference, the NFC East. And so what makes up the NFC East? The New York Giants, the Washington Commanders, the Dallas Cowboys, which still has never made sense to me that they're Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah.
And it's literally the worst. It's literally the worst. When these teams invade your home territory, it's the worst. And when your team is doing bad and the tickets are cheap, that's when they come in. And it's crazy. And yes, I know when you're tailgating, it's like, you know what? I might as well just sell my tickets because I don't even want to be around it. They take over the stadium. It's not a good time if you're invested.
Yeah.
If you just want to go to an NFL game, go.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, I love a good tailgate, and I like to now do them at, people's homes or my home and do it that way.
Yeah.
And I try to get to a game at least once a year because there's just nothing like it. If you're a football fan or any sports, going live and seeing your team, there's nothing like it. So I do try to do it once a season at the very least.
So when you tailgate, what is before we get into tunes part, what is the food of choice? Are you like, hey, I just get a pre-made sandwich somewhere, or I make a sandwich and I bring stuff, or are you like grill and let's put some burgers on, some dogs, some sausage? Like what is the menu when a Mark Ronick goes out to tailgate?
Yeah, I am lazy as far as actually doing the whole setup and the whole thing, and I admire those people that do it. It's amazing, some of those tailgates that you see set up. And so I try to go or take somebody that's really good at tailgating. And I lean, some of my favorite tailgate stuff would be wings. Love wings. I could just do it all throughout the however long we're tailgating.
It's a solid choice.
Yeah, and chili. Yes. Chili is another big one for me too. Hot dogs, hamburgers, all that. That's great, and it's you can get that anywhere, do that anytime. So yeah, there's something about doing wings and chili outside in the cold right before a game. I love that.
Yeah, I agree with that. So the chili is excellent when you get into, like, for me, because the September games are basically it's still very warm out. I mean, you can get into like an 80-degree plus game in September, and even very early October you can still get into like a really nice like kind of warm day. But once you get into like mid-October on, that's when you start getting into like when the chili hits good, and nice warm, nice hot chili, that good base too, which is nice because obviously if you're partaking in so many adult alcoholic beverages, it's always important to have a very strong base of food in there. For sure.
How about you? What's your go-to?
So as an all day extravaganza, which it normally is, usually it starts with usually Taylor ham, egg, and cheeses. We usually do a round of Taylor ham, egg, and cheeses, and we'll make those sandwiches. For those of you that don't, wherever you're listening, I mean, listen, if you're here in the Garden State, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Well, you Garden State radio folks, you know, and it's called Taylor ham, not pork roll, because we're not from South Jersey. Even though we're all one New Jersey, it's called Taylor ham. But for those of you listening that are not in the New Jersey area, what is Taylor ham? Taylor ham is basically, it's a pork byproduct, technically called a pork roll, but Taylor ham is the name of it, which is a brand name, but that's what everybody calls it. But it goes really well with eggs. It's like a fried piece of pork. I don't know. You know what I'm talking about, Mark.
I do.
You're from Jersey. Yeah. So, and it goes really well with egg and cheese on a round roll. So we usually start with that. And then, yes, wings are usually on the menu as well, which have already been kind of pre-marinated the night before, because there's a lot of prep you do the night before. So wings are pre-marinated, ready to go. So as soon as the egg and cheeses are done, wings go on, so that way you get those cooked. And then normally what happens is there's a little bit of a sway between maybe some more little chicken patties, like little grilled chicken patties. Definitely sausage and peppers is usually on there as well. And because we'll usually have 2 or 3 grills going. Like our thing is we all meet together. So all the cars are side by side, and we're all got grills going. So we have different food stations happening. So sausages and peppers is on there, and then even a little bit of London broil is usually on too, and that's usually gets sliced up and put in and all that. So and you know, and then we'll bring some hamburgers and hot dogs too, just in case somebody wants that. So we pack all these things because once we're kind of full and all that, we pack all that up, go into the game, come back out, and usually we'll fire the grill back up. And usually that's when we're like, you know, if there's any kind of leftover food, we'll heat that back up. And maybe if someone wants a burger or a dog, we throw that on. And that also is good for soaking up all the libations that were inside the stadium as well. You know,
Yeah.
always a fan of being a full mental capacity before we roll out of the parking lot.
You know,
Sure.
I was just thinking as you were sharing, I was wondering, like, I feel like Amanda would be an awesome person to bring to a tailgate just for the food and to prepare and do all the things. But
Yeah.
I don't gather her as a tailgater.
No, well, we talked a little bit about it last week, and she has gone to tailgates because of her husband and her son are big Michigan fans.
Yes.
Obviously, where she's based there in Michigan, so they're big Michigan's University or state, Michigan State.
Well,
Right.
which one? It could be. That's
Oh
very
yeah, you know what? I'm
important.
not. Yeah, I think it's the which is like yellow. What is it? Yellow and blue. I'm
Oh
not.
yeah, that's University of Michigan.
Yeah, I'm not a big college ball guy, so
Yeah.
I know. Listen, we have a lot of college ball fans. I'm not a big college ball guy.
Me neither.
Mostly with the professional league. So sorry, everybody out there who is like, oh my god, but yeah, she's gone to some stuff, and but she's not a fan of football in general. So, but I would love to take her to a Giants, or I would go to because my wife's a Jets fan, so I don't mind going to Jets games. And we don't, you know, I don't look at the Jets so much as rivals in that sense, you know, because they're not in our division, they're not even in our conference. I mean, yeah, it's the New York and New York, which is always fun. Those are just fun, but at the same time, it's like, listen, if the Giants are out, I don't mind the Jets getting in and going all the way, you know, and we root for both each other's teams, we really do. So we're we're a very copacetic family when it comes to that. As long as she's not a New Jersey Devils fan. Sorry, Radio Garden State people.
Now, you know what? Here's the thing. Are we saying that tailgating is really only for football?
No, not at all. Not at all. I was actually talking a little bit on the on IG Live a little bit about. So I know that this is all very dependent where you are, right? So in being a hockey guy, I'm a New York Rangers fan, and there's no parking lot to really tailgate in because you're in Madison Square Gardens in New York City. So what you do there is you're going into, you know, bars, restaurants, like that's pre-gaming, right?
Right.
At New Jersey Devils, where they play in Newark, New Jersey, at the Prudential Center, Now they do have parking lots, but they're not very tailgateable. They're literally just a place to put your car. And the pre-gaming happens. There's lots of bars, restaurants. They actually have this cool like alley now next to the stadium that they basically block off, and it fills up with people, and they have like beer gardens and stuff, and it's actually really nice. So they have that. But depending on where you are, everybody's stadium and arena situation is a little bit different. Now, also for baseball, I'm a Mets fan. I've gone to Mets games. I've gone to Yankee games, and there is tailgating in those parking lots. Also, you are, especially in Queens, because where the City Field is, you basically stay in the parking lot and tailgate. And I've done that. Yankee Stadium, they got people go. There's a lot of bars in there in the Bronx, so you get a lot of people going to bars. They have like lots, and so there's smaller lots, and people do tailgate in those lots. But you see a lot of kind of a mix of like people hitting the bars and then around the stadium, and then like the smaller lots where people are, you'll see people bust out grills and things like that. Yeah. And it also depends what time that game is too. Like if it's a later start game, you don't see too many people tailgate. It's more like they go in, hit the bar, go in, all that stuff. So that in my area. So I don't know what, Mark, how about you? Are you, I know, are you a baseball guy too? Do you do tailgating at other spots?
Yeah. I mean, I love sports, and really the ones that I care most about, it's really just football. And I'll definitely go and enjoy a baseball game and do the tailgate thing. And it's a pretty big thing around here. I mean, when you talk about around here, well, at least the DC area, because now I'm in Asheville, North Carolina, but in the DC area for the longest time, there was the Verizon Center, which was in the heart of DC, much like you're talking about with Madison Square Garden. And still a lot of tailgating, but much like you're saying, not the same, not that parking lot vibe with people grilling and all that kind of stuff, because it's in the city. And I think almost that's probably one of the biggest disadvantages about having a team playing in the city, is you don't get to create that same kind of vibe that you do at a stadium like, say, FedEx Field, or even in Baltimore. Even though that's in the city, there's still a lot of tailgating that goes around for the Orioles games, and definitely the Nationals as well. There's definitely a lot of tailgating that goes on before the games start. So, and that's the way, if I'm going to do it, that's the way I prefer to do it, is in the parking lot at the stadium or venue, and then just file in to the stadium when it's ready to go.
That's the way I prefer it too. I feel like it's just a better experience overall. Plus, actually, honestly, today it turns out to be a lot cheaper. Especially if you're bringing your own food, you're bringing your own booze. And once again, it all depends where you are, where you're located. I mean, I've done tailgating too, because my daughter went to West Virginia University, so we definitely did some of those Mountaineer football games. We did homecoming. We've done some other games down there, and the tailgate down there was awesome. I mean, there's nothing like tailgate with a bunch of college kids. They're savages. It's fantastic. But yeah, and through all that though, I mean, music is a huge part of all of it. Like, you got the food, you got the people, you got the atmosphere, you're excited to see your team, and then boom, let's go. We need some music to get us fired up. So I know we spent a long time talking about a lot of this, but I think that it goes because it's all part of the overall experience. Like, you need the food, the fun, the memories, the people, and you need the right playlist to get you going. So today, Mark and I, how we're going to be doing this is, we decided first we're going to do 10 songs. Then we said, Mark, hey, let's just do 5. And I agree. So we're going to share our 5 picks that should make your tailgate playlist. Their suggestions, kind of like, think of this as a primer. This is a primer, right? So maybe you're looking for new tunes to put on your playlist. Maybe you've put together a playlist and you're like, oh, I forgot that song. Whatever it is, just look at this as your tailgating playlist primer. That's what this is.
Yeah, so, and I feel like we've spent these first 20 minutes. This is like our own tailgate. We're tailgating before the tailgate show.
Yeah, we are. We're tailgating before the tailgate show. And for anybody I'm on Instagram Live right now too, so at Song Swap Showdown. So everybody's kind of tailgating with me there as
I'm doing the same thing on my IG as well. So at Mark Ronick, if you want to see my side of the coin.
So before we dive into it real quick, I do want to give Mark a little bit of a spotlight here, because especially for the Radio Garden State people here. So for everybody who's been listening on Radio Garden State, Mark is actually one of the sponsors here on Radio Garden State, And I think if you've been listening to the network and you've been listening to the station over these last 5 weeks, which I can't even believe the station's been around now, it's over 5 weeks now. You've heard Mark's ad come on in between shows, and actually in between almost every single show, you hear Mark's come on. And actually, Mark is been on also the sponsor of the concert calendar too, by the way. So I started doing concert calendars, and I've been like, brought to you by Ironic Media. So, Mark, real quick. So why don't you let everybody know a little bit about you and what you're doing? What are you up to?
Sure. I am a podcaster of around 20 years. I don't know the exact date. I never really logged that in when I started, because who knew back then that podcasting would even be something that serious? And but yeah, so I know it's roughly around 20 years. It might even be a little longer. And over the past 4 to 5 years, I've been helping other people podcast. I produce podcasts, I consult podcasters, and yeah, and in addition to doing that, one of the ways I do that is I do a morning show of my own every Monday through Friday. I do it live using the Clubhouse app. And then once we're wrapped up and we've poured into all the podcaster questions that we get, we then turn it around and make it a podcast. So the podcasting morning chat's available either live or recorded via podcast. And that's been a lot of fun. Been doing that now over 2.5 years. And it's been a blast. It's how I got to know Chris and Amanda, and a lot of my internet friends has come through that platform, and it's been a blast. And yeah, it's just, I have so much fun showing people the ropes around podcasting. It's just obviously been a passion of mine for a long time now, and it's fun to watch other people get that podcast bug.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm with you 100%. And of course, you guys have, Mark's been on the show before as a guest, and you've heard us talk about Mark, and Mark has been a one-time sponsor of this show as well. So we are huge fans of Mark and Ironic Media, and of course Podcast Morning Chat, which is even where Amanda and I met in the first place.
That's right.
Many moons ago, which is where we even met, and then the idea of the show was born out of that. So really pumped to have you joining me today. So I'm going to get to some comments super quick, and then we're going to keep diving in. By the way, guys, as we go here, as we're talking about these songs, let us know in the comments what makes your tailgating playlist. We want to hear from you. And if you're listening to this afterwards, so if you're listening to this on the go, anywhere you get podcasts, on Spotify, you can drop comments. And of course, on demand on YouTube, the comment section's always open. Oh, yes, it is. And you can drop it in there as well. So we want to hear from you what makes your tailgating playlist. And afterwards, Mark and I will be sharing the playlist that we talk about. So that way, if you guys want to listen to it, if you want to add any of those songs to your playlist, you certainly can. So I want to get over to some people. So good morning to our friend from down under, Mr. Ian from Australia. He's saying Australia currently have 4 gold and 2 silver medals in Paris. Well, congratulations, Australia. You guys are certainly always showing up in the Olympics for sure.
We haven't even talked about the Olympics. I mean, is there tailgating? Do people tailgate a lot for the Olympics?
I don't know. I gotta say, because it's in a city, right? So yeah. I mean, in a city like Paris, I'm sure it's just like teeming with people. So yeah. I'm sure tailgating is probably just like going to whatever bar, pub, restaurant, whatever. I'm sure it's packed, plus the events themselves. So yeah. I know security's tight, so I don't know if they let people mill around like that. I don't know. Probably mostly a lot of bars, restaurants, I would say, are probably packed.
I would imagine.
Yeah. Ian's also saying the term tailgating in Australia refers to something different. It is when a car is traveling too close behind you.
Oh yeah, that's here too.
That is here too. And the reason why they call it tailgating here, and why it refers to what we're talking about tailgating, is because literally, you open up the back of your car when you're parked, you pop open the trunk, or if you have a truck, your tailgate, and you literally hang out and tailgate. So lay it down, speaker on there, grill, the whole thing. You're hanging out behind your car. It's tailgating.
I want to know then if Ian has another term. Do they use a different term in Australia for partying before the big game or big event? If they're not calling it tailgating, what do they call it?
Yeah. Here he says, no tailgating in Australia. Most major sporting grounds have a little car parking, maybe car parking, and fans will either take a train, which arrives just outside the stadium, or park a distance away and walk.
Well, you all are missing out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Got to do some more. Bring that to Australia, Ian.
He says, forget NFL preseason. Forget preseason. There's only one football, Australian rules football, with 4 games left before the playoffs begin. Well, how's your team doing? How's I don't know how all the different teams are there, but who do you support? I think that's how you say. Who do you support, Ian? who are you doing? And then he's also saying, oh, and here's his pick for anthems. My Aussie sporting anthems are Shut Up the Footies on the radio, TISM. This is Serious Mum. I Made 100 in the Backyard at Mum's, Greg Champion, and One Day in September by Mike Brady. So those are his Aussie sports anthems.
Okay.
I'll have to check those out. Oh, and then we say, Mama Jack, rise and shine with the Mama Jack. Hey, guys. Hey, Mama Jack. Good morning. Thanks for hanging out with us today. And Ian's saying, when Australians don't really listen to music before sport, they pretty much nonstop talk about the sport. You know what? That's very similar here. I mean, it's pretty much nonstop. We have sports radio here. I don't know if that's the same thing in Australia. I'm sure it probably is. But here it's like literally nonstop sports talk on some of the sports radio stations here. So you talk sports all week long, and then leading up to the event for the day of too. You, especially NFL, forget it. It's all day long. Yeah. See, sporting anthem, Lil Wayne right above it. There you go. Hey, yo. There. All right. There you go. Yeah. So any of you guys, anybody out there listening right now live, if you're participating, let us know what makes your sports playlist. All right, Mark. Yes. 31 minutes into the show. Let's get this party started.
Okay.
All right. So we're going to share a top 5 list. So we're going to start with number 5 and work our way up. So we'll go back and forth. So, Mark, I'm going to throw it to you, my friend. What is your first song, which is your number 5 song on your tailgating playlist?
Okay. So here's how I did. I really wanted to make sure I didn't go to what I would consider my default songs. Some of them are here, but you know, I wanted to dig a little deeper, challenge myself, because otherwise you were going to get a list of all 80s songs. And I don't want to do that. So I wanted to try to give a variety. And because we're going from 5 to 1, those more typical songs are going to be at the beginning of the list. So the first tailgate song I would say should be on every playlist is We Will Rock You by Queen.
Oh, going with a classic right off the bat.
Yeah. Well, the classics will get out of the way in the first 2 or 3.
Okay. All right. No, listen, that's a solid pick, man. I will say not on the list I'm sharing with you today.
Okay.
Is on the playlist overall, I will say, but not on any of the songs I was sharing with you today. But I think it's a solid pick. And so that is a good one to, I'd say, a good one to start the party. And then you let it, now here's the, so We Will Rock You, does it go into We Are the Champions, or do you cut it off after We Will Rock You?
Okay, I thought about that, and I don't use We Are the Champions because that is reserved for the end, at the end of the game, once we have a winner, and hopefully it's my team.
All right. I like that mentality because I am of the same mindset with that. Like, We Will Rock You, let's get going. To say We Are the Champions, I think it's a jinx. It's a jinx.
Yeah, can't do it.
That's reserved because I feel like you're jinxing the team. I'm a little superstitious. I don't know. Are you superstitious about stuff? Do you have like sports superstitions that you gotta?
Yes, I do. I mean, it used to be too. It's like certain shirts I would not let myself wear because I felt like every time I wore it, the team would lose. Yeah. And that's really kind of the jinx is I never have the opposite. I never have the shirt where I'm like, okay, this is the lucky shirt. They're going to win every time. No, it's always the negative. It's always like, okay, no, eventually I'm going to be naked, especially with the Washington Commanders. I'll have no more clothes to wear because I'll think they're all bad luck.
Yeah. I mean, there is definitely, I get like that where, especially during a game, if the team, especially if I'm not at the game, like I feel like I gotta do something to change. So it'll be like, you know, hat off, or, you know, if I'm wearing sunglasses come off. In extremes, sometimes it's like, you know, if I am wearing the jersey, but I always make sure I have a shirt underneath, jersey comes off. Like I do a lot of weird stuff.
Yes,
and during playoffs, forget it. I go to like next level, like superstition with like towels and, you know, and like if I have something by the TV, it's like, do not move that. Like it can't be, you know, whose house is getting the most wins. Like we did that during the Rangers playoff run. We're all superstitious. We're like, every time we watch the Rangers at my house, they lose. But when we go to our friend Meg's house, they win. So we're like, that's it. Playoffs at Meg's. We can't change this. This is, you know, this is, you gotta go with what works. So
agreed.
But I like that. And I agree that, We Will Rock You is a good start. It's a good kickoff to a playlist. And I agree with reserving We Are the Champions. So you guys, what do you think out there? Let us know. Do you agree with that? Do you disagree? Would that make your playlist? We want to know from you. Jeff McMahon with McMahon on Keys coming in and say Rock and Roll Fantasy by Bad Company makes his list. Love that. Just in case no one's ever heard this song before. I mean, this is what will get you psyched out. I mean, come on.
It's a good way to start a tailgate song show.
It's a great way to start a tailgate.
We will rock you.
We gotta get to the point where the guitar comes in.
We will rock you. Everybody, we will rock you. We will rock you.
The best.
All right.
That is by far the best part of that song because it's such a good build-up, and like Brian May's guitar literally sounds like he just plugged it in and started playing. And the first thing that came was that. Like that's it. You hear his fingers go. I love it. Absolutely the best. Absolutely the best. Love it. Love it. Love it. Yeah.
Can't
love
argue
Freddie. That. Yep. Love it. Sorry for the technical difficulties there, everybody. Just a simple button thing. This is what happens though. This is what happens all the time on this show.
Yeah. Well, when you're live, you got to deal with that kind of stuff.
Live without a net, everybody. All right. So I like this. This is a good kickoff tune to a playlist for sure. For sure. All right. My next song. So my song to kick off the playlist. So I'm going to go a little heavier, but I feel like, but it's like so funny to say heavier now because this band has been around for so long that what is heavy anymore? But I am talking about Metallica Creeping Death.
Ooh.
That is my first pick on my number 5. I'm a big Metallica fan. I think Metallica is just a great band to listen to when you're in any situation, and especially tailgating for me. Listening to Metallica is awesome, and there's so many songs off Ride the Lightning, that record, and actually celebrating an anniversary right now. Ride the Lightning was released 40 years ago last week.
Wow.
So yeah, if you don't feel old enough, Ride the Lightning, 40 years old.
Metallica, it's one of those bands that when I hear the songs, I know the songs, and they're one of the bands that I just didn't really ever follow. Yeah. So like you said that title, I have no idea what song that is. Yeah.
So Creeping Death, and I think I'll play it, and you guys will probably know it right away. But great stadiums. I usually place inside the stadiums because it's got a whole bunch of like chanting and things like that, which is why like We Will Rock You's great because it's also built for the chanting. They made it so it would sound good in a football stadium, you know. And I'm talking about like European football as well, because that's what Queen, huge football fans, and they built that song so it would sound like that, and it works. And I feel like this song, even though it wasn't originally written for that, this is definitely an arena rocker, a stadium shouter for sure. So all right, so I'll play a little bit of Creeping Death here for everybody in case no one's ever heard that song before or doesn't know what song it is. All right, here's
I'm sure I've got to recognize it.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll recognize this. All right, here we go. It's a little Creeping Death off of Red. Right.
Definitely see why, and I don't recognize it.
You don't recognize this one? Wow! Did I just introduce you to a new Metallica song?
I'm really playing the role of Amanda well.
You are. You're doing a good Amanda. I'll get to a very long opening. I'll get to a chorus part here. There you go. Well, this a lot too. You hear this? They usually play this part in the stadium, like in between stuff. Yes. So yeah, I mean, this to me, this is a staple tailgating for concerts. We didn't even talk about concert tailgating. That's a whole. It's very similar. Very similar.
It really is.
A little bit of a different situation depending on where you are, but this makes every tailgating playlist for me.
Different situation where you are, and also what the show is, like who the band is or the artist that you're going to see.
Correct.
Right? Because you may find some tailgates where there isn't as much alcohol as there may be other substances around.
Yeah.
It just depends on the show.
Right.
And Chris, I got to say again, I'm not doing this just because I'm in Amanda's chair, and I am in Amanda's chair, so I'm going to... I don't like that song for tailgating.
Wow.
Because there's not enough of a... I like that communal aspect, right? Like, I don't feel like people can really, like, get into it and sing along. Like, I love the guitar. I like Metallica, and I don't feel like... I mean, that could be just some good background music, but it doesn't really say to me tailgate.
All right. Well, your opinion is heard. What do you guys think? You let me know. That would be the Lil Wayne tailgate.
Yeah, what I was referring to. Yeah, could be.
The players of my AFL team, North Melbourne, all have their own song picks that play in the stadium after they score a goal. Very nice. That's awesome. That's good. I like that. That's a good idea. Yeah. So I hear you. But this is definitely on the playlist when we're rocking out at Giants games. And I think it also depends on your crowd too, like you know. And so great point. Well taken. But this is why we're doing this, so we can see who's on and see, you know, and like you hadn't heard this song before, you know, so maybe it'll make a list somewhere along the line.
It may be, yes. Just not my tailgate.
Just not your tailgate. All right. All right. So that was mine. So right now, if anybody's just tuning in now, we are sharing our tailgate playlist. If you're listening to us live right now on RadioGardenState.com, welcome to the show. If you're on YouTube or Facebook, also welcome to the show. Mark and I are sharing our top 5 tailgate tunes. Mark's first pick was We Will Rock You by Queen, and my first pick was Creeping Death by Metallica. All right, moving into our number 4 picks. Mark, what is making your number 4 pick?
So I'm actually going to eat my own words, because this song could be similar to what I just said about your Metallica song.
Mm-hmm.
I love this for tailgating. It gets me in the mood. It gets me pumped up and excited. I love blasting it for game day.
Mm-hmm.
Sabotage by the Beastie Boys.
Good one. I like that pick. You know what? That was so close on being on my top 5, but it is in the top 10.
Okay.
So you and I would have, if we had stuck to the top 10, we would have shared this one.
Okay, that's fair.
We would have.
And I mean, how can you not love this tune, right? Like, especially for a game day, or really for anything what you're about to go do. It's just a really good pump you up, motivational song. And I don't mean by the lyrics just as much as the sound, the music, the guitar, all of it. It's just, it gets you ready to go.
Yeah, and I can never not help but think of the music video, which is one of the greatest music videos ever. is that music video? I think that was my entire coming into film school and coming out of it, was always trying to replicate that music video as best I can. I'm so inspired by that. My family is not Rise of Mama Jack. My family is not prepared for my actions this morning with these picks. Love it. Good. That's right. She's rocking it out. See, good picks, man. We're firing everybody up today. This is a good one. I approve of this pick. And like I said, this is on my top 10. But because we narrowed it down to 5, it didn't make my top 5.
Okay.
And I think this is good because I already have a feeling that our 5s are going to be so opposite. But this is good because I'm glad that we're going to be opposite of each other more than likely, because this will make it much more of a fun show, and also give all you guys maybe some different perspectives and maybe discover some different tunes.
100%.
All right, so let's listen to a little bit of Sabotage by the Beastie Boys right here. If you guys have never heard this song, I'm fairly certain most people have, right? I think.
I mean, if you don't think you have, you've probably heard it even in things like advertisements, movies, etc. It was in one of the Star Trek movies. Yeah. The first one, I think, the reboot.
Yes. I would love that. I like what they did.
I loved it there.
They cut the trailer to that, which was awesome.
Yes.
All right, so here's a little Sabotage.
All right. I mean, right away, instantly.
I get it. I'm with you. Also watching, as always, play this live is the best.
Oh, yeah.
Instantly think of the video. So good.
Yeah. But also not a sing-along for a community, you know, people gathered together. You don't sing it, but you head bop a lot to it.
You definitely head bop a lot to it, and it's just a pumper, man. It's a fist pumper. It's an energy. Like it just boom. You hear it and you're like, let's go. I'm ready. I'm ready to go in. We're ready to win today.
Yeah, I'm with you.
We are ready to win today. That's right. The team needs me. The team needs my energy. All right, cool. I like that pick. That's a good pick, man. Sabotage by the Beastie Boys. Definitely a solid tailgating tune on multiple of my tailgate lists as well. Like I said, would have been in my top 10 or is in my top 10. But how to draw the line, man, because this is like what's in, what's not, and you know, and I was definitely, I think when I put my list together, it was definitely much more for me, or is it later in the day? So I was already pumped, and I was like, oh man, what do we, and I was looking at our, like the tailgate list that we have for our Giants Yo group that meets up at Giants games. And I was trying to pick like, oh, I know when we put this on, everybody starts like getting and going and all that. So my next pick, don't know if you've heard of this. Maybe it's also been a goal song in the NHL quite by a few teams. They play this a lot at a lot of hockey games, and I have heard it inside of stadiums quite a bit. And it is a little bit of a sing-along, especially the chorus. I am talking about Pennywise's BroHym. Do you know this song?
And you know, again, probably
punk
one
band Pennywise.
I would guess that I've heard it, and I don't know it by name.
Definitely an arena rocker, and absolutely, usually when you cruise through the parking lot, you usually hear this on somebody's radio blasting. And usually you kind of hear this too a little bit as it's getting closer to game time, you know, because the libations are starting to take their effect, you know, and it's a good time to definitely do the whoa, whoa, whoas, which is what makes this song so much fun to sing along to. So, let me play. Does anybody else out there know the song BroHym by Pennywise? Anybody out there listening live? Let me know if this is something that was on your radar. But let's play a little bit of that.
Let's hear
some Pennywise.
I feel like these lists honestly could change. The order could change any given day.
Oh yeah. Song's great. Brotherhood, friendship. It's the best.
To all my friends present, past and beyond, especially those who weren't with us too long. Life is the most precious thing you can lose. While you were here, the fun was never ending. Life a minute was only beginning. Captain Coleman Nichols, this one for you!
Gets everybody going. They play this a lot inside the stadium. I'll get to the chorus here.
You ever get that feeling you can go? Hesitation, brotherhood's our rule, which cannot bend.
definitely a big time sing along, and this one, like I said, is usually played getting close to going in, like maybe that like last half hour, like game starting at 1, maybe like 12:20, 12:25, BroHym gets popped on.
Yeah, and another song, Chris, that you have stumped me. I don't know it, and I was gonna maybe say no, but then hearing all the oh in the background, like that sealed the deal for me, because that I can see the tailgate crowd after a few drinks, just standing and at the top of their lungs screaming out with that song. So yeah, I feel that. I get it.
Nice, excellent. Yeah, I'm glad that you like this. So yeah. I think that, and a great thing about this song too is it's really only 3 minutes long. So it kind of comes in, blazes in. It's a lot of OOOs. The whole end is a lot of OOOs. So it's a good fist pumper for sure.
Yeah.
And then usually you go into the stadium, and then they always cue up the whoa, like, and a lot of I'm trying to think of all the different teams that kind of use it as a goal song, but it's been used as a goal song around the league, around the NHL quite a bit.
Makes sense.
Yeah, which it's a great goal song.
Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely. All right, you want me to take the next one?
Yeah, why don't you take the next one?
All right, so I actually sent you a link to queue it up. Now, this is the link I sent you is not the original band, and I just wanted to play it because my daughter's band, when she was in high school, they used to play this all the time. Seven Nation Army by the White Stripes.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. So I
Excellent.
love this one. It's just one of those songs that just really pumps you up, gets you excited. And usually when it plays, you'll see the group that you're with at some point all of a sudden can make that connection to the song and start bopping their heads and doing the air guitar with it. It's such a great song.
Yeah, I mean that is definitely. I mean that has been basically that entire part has been co-opted into I think every sporting event now. Just that.
Oh yeah.
Whoa. I mean they don't even have to play the song. People just start doing that. Like that's it. They just start doing the whoa thing, like without even the song playing. Like you hear that all the time.
And at all different sporting events too.
Yeah, I don't. Not limited.
Soccer, I feel like.
Yep, definitely soccer. I've seen it at baseball for sure. I mean, Rangers games. So definitely hockey, NHL stuff. So it is 100%. I think part of sporting culture at this point.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
So all right, so I'm playing the version you just sent me. All right, let me get that.
If you can.
Up. Yep, I can. Here we go.
This is my daughter's band, or former band, because she's now graduated college, but this was her high school band.
By the way, visually, I love the stage set. This is excellent.
This was like at one of those, like,
this is nice production design.
Talent, band offs kind of thing.
Now, visually, guys, just for those of you not watching, visually, so basically we have a video queued up right now of Mark's daughter's old cover band, and they're at school, I guess, a talent show, school talent show.
It's like what do you call it? It's like a band.
Yeah. Oh, like a Battle of the Bands type.
Battle of the Band. I couldn't think of the name. Yes,
okay. And the stage is pretty, like the production design. They have guitars hanging from the ceiling, like big, like oversized guitars. Nice lighting. I like this. This is nice. Good production
really cool.
quality. All right, so let's listen to a little bit of Seven Nation Army by Carousel.
Carousel. Yep.
Carousel. I like that. All right, here we go. Let's check this out. Let's check out their version.
That's my daughter.
I'm gonna work the straw. Make the sweat drip out of every pore. And I'm bleeding, and I'm bleeding, and I'm bleeding right before the Lord. All the words are gonna bleed from me, and I will sing no more. And the sting's coming from my blood. Tell me go back home.
Yeah.
That was good.
I thought they do a good job of it.
They did a great job of that. What do you guys think? You let me know in the comments below. Be nice. Be nice, everybody.
You don't have to.
No, but that is a good one. That is a good one. So I'll play a little bit of the OG version too.
Yeah.
Just so in case.
Of course.
In case you haven't heard it before. Let me do a little OG version. Let's
now,
By the
and
White
I
Stripes.
love what Dave Mattingly in the chat, he said he has a good one by Weird Owl that I didn't think of.
Oh. I didn't even see Dave's comment yet.
I'm gonna fight 'em all. I said the nation army couldn't hold me back.
My dad liked it.
They're gonna rip it off. Taking their time right behind my back. And I'm talking to myself at night.
White Stripes are the best, loosest band all time. So loose. Meg White's drumming is amazing.
And a message coming from my eyes says leave it alone.
The video for this song is fantastic, by the way.
I don't know that I've ever seen it.
Oh man, you gotta watch the video for this. All right, so that was a little White Stripes with Seven Nation Army. Yeah, and that is like 100% a tune where like literally, and like We Will Rock You, like it's a song that anybody could play, right? And
Yeah.
actually, if I remember even the movie, they were talking about we want to write a song that literally anybody could play without the band. It's just like the clap and the stomp, and like this is one too where it's just like people just do it with the clapping and all that without even having the band play, any music. They make their own music. So I love that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great one.
Yeah. Dave Maddox saying, coming in late, I assume Amanda and Mark met in Mortal Kombat and Mark emerged victorious.
I think you give me too much credit.
Yeah, Amanda's tough. I don't know
Yeah.
about that, man. She definitely would perform a fatality, I think. Yeah. For anybody,
By the way,
just
happy
tuning in,
birthday
yeah.
to Amanda, right?
Yes. Happy birthday, Amanda. That girl. It was her birthday as of this recording yesterday, Sunday,
Yeah.
July 28th. So we're Monday, July 29th. Amanda's on vacation, and it was her birthday. So, of
A
course,
fellow Leo.
huge happy birthday to Amanda Sharp. That girl. Love her. Can't do the show without her. Only sometimes when Mark sits in the chair.
And it's never as good without her.
No, never as good without her. Just kidding.
Sorry, Chris.
Seriously. All right. So I like this pick. This is a solid pick. I like this one. And it's not in my top 5. So once again, we have some different top 5s, which is very nice. And I think that this one definitely belongs on any tailgate list. It certainly is embedded in, I'm sure, many of my tailgate lists. Didn't make my top 10.
Okay.
Just because honestly, it's in there already, but I just didn't jolt to me as a top 10. But a very good tailgate song. Very good tailgate song.
I think so.
So I like this pick. That's a good one. All right. My next pick may be a little controversial. I don't know. I'm not sure. I am a huge anybody who listens to the show knows I'm a huge Iron Maiden fan. I love Iron Maiden. I think they're one of the best bands out there. I've always loved Iron Maiden. And I have said that going to an Iron Maiden show concert is literally like going to a sporting event. I remember the first time I took my wife to an Iron Maiden show, she said, "Oh my God, that was like going to see a football game." It is.
Wow.
The crowd is so energetic. The band, even at this stage, as older as these guys are so full of energy. And the way Bruce Dickinson at his age can still run around the stage like a lunatic and put on a great show of musicianship and high energy is unbelievable. And literally the crowd chants like it's a football game. It's just a very positive, visceral experience. And I think most of their music is literally written to just get you energy psyched up. And a lot of their lyrics are very much based in history, especially British history, world history. And this one is no exception. And I am talking about The Trooper. From Peace of Mind. This is the opening riff to this, which is also another stadium rocker. Just every part of this song is all meant to just get you going. And obviously very about British nationalism, all that. But just an amazing tune, and always this is a great opener. They've opened with this song concert wise, and I've heard this riff so many times sitting inside a giant stadium, and it's like the whole crowd right away. You see everybody get locked in. They're like, and everybody's singing that first line of the song, and just a good one, man. It's a good
Absolutely agree. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You hear that in pretty much every stadium. You'll hear that played at least once.
Yeah. So that is my pick. So let me, if you guys don't know, if you're not familiar with the Trooper, here's a little Trooper from my, and this is the recorded version. And sometimes I almost actually put the Live After Death version on, which is a live version, which is also fantastic. Because sometimes I love to listen. That Live After Death to me is one of the best live records I think ever recorded, because it just captures the energy of the band during that Power Slave tour in '82, and every song on that record is excellent, and the way it's just awesome. But I went to the recorded version just because, you know what, that's probably the version most people have heard, and I wasn't gonna go to too fanboy. So here is the Trooper by Iron Maiden. That riff, instant. The galloping.
You'll take my life, but I'll take yours too. You fire musket, but I'll run you through. So when you're waiting for the next attack, you better stand, there's no turning back. The builder sounds, the time begins.
The best. The galloping riffs. The twin guitar attack. This is a perfect tailgating song.
It really is. I mean, again, there's not a lot that, like, as a group that you could like sing along to per se.
Yeah.
But there's just something about that riff, about
Yeah.
that beat, about that feeling that it has that absolutely makes it a tailgate.
Yeah. That's just awesome. Love
Yeah.
it. Absolutely love it.
Agreed.
Yeah, very good. Very good one. So that is my number 3 pick.
All right.
On our list. So, all right. So just as a recap for everybody, if you're just tuning in, Mark and I are sharing our top 5 tailgating tunes to make this is basically, once again, think of this as a primer, as a starter. Maybe you've been listening to the same tailgating tunes for a while and you're like, what else should I put on there? So maybe you're discovering some new tunes, or maybe this is validation for what you've already had on your playlist. Maybe some of these songs weren't already on your tailgating playlist. You're like, oh, that is a good song. Let me add that. So what we're giving you here is a nice little sampling, nice starter pack to having a really successful tailgate at your next, whatever it is, concert outing, sporting event, backyard barbecue, which could also count as tailgating. I mean, I'll tell you this, in our house, as the costs of games continue to rise.
Yeah.
I mean, here in New York, New Jersey area, I mean, you can spend up to like $500 to $600 just to go to everything all in. I'm saying all in.
Yep.
For the day. And we've actually gone to doing tailgating parties here in my backyard, where we actually take over the driveway and all that, and basically have our own tailgating party. We set the TV up outside and we watch football all day. And we've done that now for a couple times, and it's great. We have a blast, and we save a ton of money, and we still have a really fun time. So
yeah, and there's something about being in the comfort of your own home and doing a tailgate party. I don't know, there's less stress and more fun, I feel like, because you have all the conveniences right there, so why not? Yeah.
Nope, absolutely. I agree. It is definitely one of the ways to save some serious cash if you're in a cash crunch. So if that's something you guys have never thought of before, try hosting a tailgating party at your house with your friends and do it. Do it outside, bring everything outside, close off the driveway, bring out the grills, do the whole thing, treat it as if you were at the show, at the concert, or at the sporting event. So Little tip, little Pinterest tip there for you here on Song Swap Showdown. All right, everybody, let's keep it going. All right, Mark, what is your number 2 song?
My number 2 song. And by the way, I do have honorable mentions if we have time.
Oh, yes, we do. Well, you want to do those before the number 1s are revealed?
Yeah, we could do that. But this is number 2, right?
Yeah, so we're on number 2. So as a recap, sorry, I never even got to the recap. I was so busy yapping. Our recap, just so we're at. So Mark's first 3 songs were We Will Rock You by Queen, Sabotage by the Beastie Boys, and Seven Nation Army by the White Stripes. And mine have been Creeping Death was my number 5 by Metallica. Number 4 was BroHym by Pennywise. And number 3 was The Trooper by Iron Maiden.
Nice. Okay, so my number 2, I think you'll appreciate this one.
Mm-hmm.
It's by AC/DC.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, really, you could pick a bunch of AC/DC songs, and they probably qualify as a good tailgate.
Absolutely.
I went with Thunderstruck.
Cannot go wrong with Thunderstruck. Cannot go wrong with Thunderstruck. And what's funny is that we did Thunderstruck on this show. I think we did this because we did another tailgating episode, but I think we did it as like baseball songs and things like that. And Thunderstruck made my list, and Amanda could not stand it. She thought the song was boring, and she gave it not a favorable review. You guys can actually watch that right on our YouTube channel, or we actually have that as a quick hit on the podcast feed, and you could go and listen to Amanda's review of Thunderstruck. I think you guys, it's very polarizing. It could be triggering for some people, but hey, that's why we love Amanda. That's why the show works so well. But yes, Thunderstruck. I think my sister actually wrote that on Facebook too. That Thunderstruck was on their tailgate tune playlist. Yeah,
I'm scoring points with all your family.
You are, man. My dad chiming in that he liked what you had there. Yeah, he was giving thumbs up during Seven Nation Army.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah, and so that is a great pick, man. You are correct. You cannot go wrong with AC/DC. I think AC/DC is just universally like every song is an arena rocker for the most part.
Yep, pretty much. Especially their top hits. That's for sure.
Especially their top hits. So all right, so let me get some Thunderstruck queued up right now. Here's a little Thunderstruck in case, once again, because they're not familiar with Thunderstruck. Played in every stadium, in everywhere.
I mean, and I'm pretty sure Tony Stark has played that song before.
Oh yeah, this is on the Tony Stark jams for sure.
Oh yeah. I mean, already. I could see a tailgate even starting with this song.
This is a good tailgate starter. Good point. Good point. Everything about this is awesome.
Yeah. I mean, if this doesn't get you pumped up for a sporting event, nothing does.
You might not have a pulse.
Yeah, Amanda.
We're gonna dunk on Amanda a little bit. So good.
But, you know, you could go with Back in Black.
Oh yeah.
And still just, I could slide that right into this slot easily.
Yep. You absolutely could.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Such a good song.
Oh, yeah, it's that part. Here it goes. Oh yeah, there it is. You've been thunderstruck.
Yeah.
I love it.
TNT, Dave Mattingly says TNT, another great one.
Yeah. See, that's the thing, man. AC/DC has so many jock jams.
They do.
But I mean, it's endless. It is really endless. You just can't go wrong with AC/DC.
Mm-mm.
At least that's what I'm thinking. I mean,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, there's no other band really that has that many songs that you could use at a tailgate, play in the stadiums,
Yep.
etc. Yeah, they are perfect for it.
Yeah, I agree 100%. So, Mark, I love this pick. I think this is a great pick. And I am just a little spoiler alert. This will not be the last time you hear of AC/DC
Good.
in this little,
Well, rightfully so.
this
After
little
we
list
just
that
said
we
all
got
that.
going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's 100% just the way to go. I mean, I think AC/DC has to be on anybody's top 5 list. That is
I
my
agree.
That's my what do you guys think? Let us know in the comments below. All right, so wait, what does she say? A Flogging Molly isn't at least an honorable mention. Oh, geez. Okay, well, I got a little spoiler alert. It's not in mine.
Oh, okay.
Although Flogging Molly is a great band, it is not in my honorable mention. Sorry, Mama Jack. I now feel like I just lost a lot of cred with her.
Nah.
Just lost
All
a
right,
lot
what's
of
your
cred.
number 2? Oh, you got another. We got somebody. Ian. Oh, this is Dave.
Oh,
what did
Dave,
Dave
what
have
did
to
he say?
say?
He said, "Oh, he said it was him commenting at Ian. Ian, if before singing the big song Wang Chung played, should I stay or should I go?" Oh, that's right. He went to an '80s festival this weekend.
Oh,
He went to an
wow.
amazing concert this weekend. So I'm there. See, this is what happens in our comments. It's the show, and then there's a show within the show, which is in
Oh,
the
yeah.
comments section of Song Swap Showdown. This is what happens. But he's saying, Ian is saying, Chris, I suggest any song by Aussie band, The Living End, would fit well with your list. Would fit well. Okay. And then he also says that AC/DC is a great Aussie rock band, almost as good as Cold Chisel, who Ian has given me some Cold Chisel, and I agree. Cold Chisel is pretty darn good and definitely not known, should be known about more here in the States. They got some good rockers for sure. Good rockers.
Don't know them. I'll
Yeah.
have to check that out.
All right, so my number 2 song is a song that we were kind of talking about already. Actually, I was talking about it on the live feed a little bit. And Mr. Jeff McMahon on keys brought it up.
Oh.
And I had said that this is like the official song of backyard parties here and, of Club Vaglio. And this is a song that I've always loved. And it was actually during lockdown when, we were just always that summer of the COVID summer. Like we literally just hung out in my backyard. Like I had my gazebo set up. At that time we had the smaller little pool. And like literally that's all we did was hang out outside that entire summer. And this song became basically our national anthem.
Oh, wow.
And I am talking about the one, the only Thin Lizzy, Boys Are Back in Town.
Oh,
That is
yeah.
on-
Okay.
That is on my tailgating playlist. This song is a must play. It's absolute must play before we go into the stadium. Has to happen.
I can't
Otherwise,
argue
I
that.
kind of feel jinxed if it doesn't play. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's once again going on to superstition. I have to personally hear it before I walk in. And there's 2 songs that I have to hear before I walk in. This is one of 2. This is
I
one
can't
of
argue
2.
that. I didn't think of that one, and I get it. Like that one, there's something. It's so catchy, first of all, and second of all, it does get you really hyped up before a game.
Yeah. Is the security at the door at Club Vaglio? No, Ian. There's just a no jerk policy. That's pretty much it. But there is no security. So you're welcome anytime. And when you come to the States, bud, come over to Club Vaglio, which is my backyard, essentially. Believe me, it's nothing special. It's a gazebo from Big Lots and a little 4-foot pool. But yeah, so this is a tune, and I love Thin Lizzy. I've always loved the song, and we just heard some Iron Maiden, right? So that Iron Maiden sound, the twin guitar attack, really came from like Thin Lizzy with their dual guitar sound, and the riffing and all that. And so, and this band to me has had so many great songs, and this to me is the cream of the crop when it comes to tailgating songs. So, if you've never heard this, and I know some of these are like, oh my God, Chris, these are like classic rocks. These have been on forever, and it's like, well, yes, but they are good tunes and they don't disappoint. That's the thing, right? You just want tunes that aren't going to disappoint you. Like you know what you're getting. You know what you're getting.
You do.
And you're in for it. So I don't mind that.
And I
once
know you
again,
like
insert
I know you
occasions.
like trivia, so we'll hear
Yes.
it, and then I've got a little trivia
Oh,
for you
I
to
like
see if you
that.
know the answer.
Okay, great. I love that. Okay, so here's a little. Yes, I mean right away. The swagger in the song.
Guess who just got back today? Them wild-eyed boys that had been
The
away.
groove of this song is-
Haven't
can't
changed,
be
had
matched.
much to say. But man, I still think them cats are crazy. They were asking if you were around, how you was, where you could be found. Told them you were living downtown, driving all the old men crazy. The boys are back in town, boys are back in town. I said, the boys are back in town. 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 Boys are back in town. Boys are back in town.
Ultimate air guitar part.
Oh, man. I am so good at this air guitar too.
You know that chick that used to dance a lot?
Just
Every night she'd be on the
floor shaking what she's got, man. I mean, every lyric in this song is completely singable.
Yeah.
In fact,
For
there's
sure.
an entire lyric in this song that we've actually co-opted too. So sometimes Club Vaglio is also known as Dino's Bar and Grill, which is they talk about in the song, like, you know,
Oh,
down at
yeah.
Dino's Bar and Grill where
Yeah.
the drinks will flow and blood will spill. It's like, well, we've also called Dino's Club Vaglio, aka Dino's Bar and Grill. So
Interesting.
yeah, so that's we love the song. We all go crazy, and like once again, this is a must play before I walk into the stadium.
It's different than, I mean, it does provide that motivation, and it's more to me, it's just like a feel good about your team song, right?
It
Like
really is.
it's, and that's why I agree with you. It's a good song to play right before you go into the stadium because you're just feeling really good, excited
Yeah.
about your team at that point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
feeling juiced, man. It's just a good like. It's a swagger. This song's got so much
Yes.
swagger to it, you know, because it is. It's like the boys are back in town, like, you know,
Yeah.
hang out with my crew. Like, it's a great tune for that. So that's why it's my number 2 on my top 5 playlist.
Do you know what late 80s movie had this on its soundtrack?
Late 80s movie.
Yes. I'm being a little vague about, I know what year.
Yeah.
It's a sequel, I'll give you that.
It's a sequel.
Which makes sense, right?
All right,
Because-
hold on. So genre: comedy, horror, sci-fi, romance, rom-com. comedy, sequel.
Anyone in the chat know?
Yeah, anybody in the chat.
But don't
Dave,
cheat. No
Dave
cheating.
Mattingly is the pop culture king here, so he may know this right off the bat. Comedy sequel. The only one I know this is wrong. This is a wrong answer, but I'm gonna say because I can't get out of my head. Beverly Hills Cop 2.
No, but actually that would have been a great one. It's Ghostbusters 2.
Oh my God, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
1989.
Yeah. Oh, Dave, he has a Toy Story 2. That was in a
Ah.
late 80s movie, Dave.
No, that's not late 80s.
Ghostbusters 2. Wow.
Yeah.
That's right. Jeez.
I think it was used a lot in their promotional stuff as well.
Yeah. Yep. Mama Jack saying yes. Yes. I love that. That's a good trivia question, man.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Boy. Yeah. You know what? And it's been so long since I've actually watched Ghostbusters 2. I've completely forgotten. Like,
I
what
just
the songs
started
are.
watching Frozen Empire. I haven't finished it yet, but I just started watching it over the weekend.
Yeah.
Not good.
Not
So
great.
far, I'm fine with it. Like, I'm only
It
like
was
20 minutes in.
okay. It just gets like, I don't know. I had a lot of problems with it. I tried to be entertained. I really loved the one before, which I can't even remember. Ghostbusters.
Oh yeah, I forget the actual name of it.
Me
but
too.
yeah,
I love that.
Yeah,
I thought it
Same
was
cast.
so good, like so well done, such a great tribute and good callbacks that I kind of felt like this one was a little like, I don't know. It just didn't live
Forced.
up to it. Didn't live up to it. Didn't live
Yeah.
up to the same feeling that I had. So That's just me. That's my opinion.
That's fair. That's fair. I've only gotten 20 minutes, so so far it's not bothering me, but I don't have high expectations either.
All right, Mama Jack is saying, I feel like I'm a Ghostbuster.
Yes.
You are a Ghostbuster.
She
You
is.
you need a proton pack and a jumpsuit.
She's more of a ghost talker than Buster, I would say.
But I like the jumpsuit, and it just says Mama Jack. Like, you know how they all have their,
Oh, yeah.
just Mama Jack. That's it.
Did you ever do that since we're around the same age? Were you ever a Ghostbuster for Halloween?
I wasn't a Ghostbuster for Halloween. I always wanted to be, though, but I never was.
I definitely was.
It's not too late.
My dad was infamous for making all of our costumes because he didn't feel like spending the money on buying the costumes. So we had the whole homemade proton pack with some weird tubing and I don't know what else, but we made it work, and it was the best costume ever. When you can be a Ghostbuster on Halloween, there's nothing better.
I mean, come on, you're absolutely right. That's I bet. So when that episode of Stranger Things came out and they were all Ghostbusters for Halloween,
yes, that was awesome.
Those were good. Good. Yeah. Oh, he's what he's saying. My friend of mine was posthumously thanked in the 2016 Ghostbuster credits. # We Are Kemp. All right.
And good word usage there.
Yeah.
I don't even know that word, to be honest with you.
Posthumously.
Yeah. Posthumously.
Very good vocabulary word. There you go. Oh, and she goes, Mama Jack, I've been wanting to be Dana Zool forever for Halloween. Well, do it. This is the year. This is it. Just do it.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Kind of a hot costume too.
It is.
Yeah.
All right. So before we move into our number ones and reveal our number ones, let's do our honorable mentions.
Okay.
So Mark, would you like to go first?
Sure. Now this one, I actually debated whether or not I wanted it to be number one.
Okay.
And it really could slide in because, like I said earlier, you ask me again tomorrow, I'd probably have a whole different list of top fives. But
I agree.
Yeah, I would say, but this one, it's on the theme of what we were saying earlier about right before you go in.
Mm-hmm.
I like to hear this before I go in, and it's also a good crowd pleaser. And it may not be what you think of as far as tailgates. Don't Stop Believin' by Journey.
Okay. All right. You know what? Solid pick, man. It's a crowd pleaser. It gets everybody going.
It's
everybody
not like a tough song like an Iron Maiden or an AC/DC,
Sure.
but it's got something. It feels like, don't stop believing in your team, right?
Yep.
And it's a song. It's a crowd favorite. People love to sing along to it, and
They
it
sure
just
do.
gets people united and excited.
They certainly do. And I agree with that 100%. I think it's a good one. Everybody knows the words.
Yeah.
And it's a good pumper. It's a good
Yeah.
pumper.
Yeah.
I have nothing wrong with that pick. I think it's a solid tailgate pick.
Yeah. If I
Very
hear this right before I go in, then I'm ready to go.
Okay. Very
Yeah.
good. I love that one. That's a good one. All
Yeah.
right. So what we want to, we're going to
How
do
about you?
So you want to do this and we're do our 5 honorable mentions?
Do I have 3 I can give you. That
All
was
right, so
one of 3.
that's fine. So do 3. So I'll do one and then we'll go back and forth.
Okay.
So an honorable mention for me is, of course, Van Halen.
Mm.
Has to be on the playlist. And there's so
Yeah,
many Van Halen
I'm
songs.
disappointed in myself that I didn't pick a Van Halen song.
And Van Halen wasn't in the top 5, just because there was these other songs I know that we listened to, and I'm a huge Van Halen fan, and so for me, maybe not the most obvious Van Halen song, but I just love it, and I think the opening riff to me is what gets everybody going. But this is Unchained by Van Halen. By far, I know everybody's Panama and all that. I'm an Unchained guy. It's my favorite Van Halen song. Nothing beats that riff. Like, I'm sorry, it's the best, and it gets me going. So at that point, I'm like, this one's for me, guys. This is for me. This is a me song.
Now, Chris, who of the 2 lead singers, or actually, I know there's been 3.
Yeah.
Who? But I only count the first 2.
Mm-hmm.
Who of the 2, if you had to pick to be your front man for Van Halen, who is it?
So this is an awesome question, and it's one that I do go back and forth with a lot. But I will say, for me, it's Diamond Dave, just because Sammy's the better singer,
Yeah.
also a better songwriter. But that's just two different versions of Van Halen for me. But if I had my pick, I would go with DLR all day. Great showman, great frontman. I'm going to take away all the strife and all the craziness behind the scenes. Just solid party rock band. And Dave is the package. When you want a guy fronting your band, Playing the music that Van Halen played, especially in the 70s and 80s, like Diamond Dave is a guy. And even the last record they did, Different Kind of Truth, was just, I love that record. It doesn't get enough love. And I was so happy to hear it back. Dave's the guy. Dave's the guy. And I've seen Van Halen live, and I know the old stuff about Dave live. I don't care. It's fun. It's just fun rock music. Sammy's the better singer for sure. I love Sammy. I like Sammy Hanlon. Van Hagar is very good, but I'm always gonna go with DLR for me. That's. What about you? You have a preference?
I mean,
or you
if
just
I
don't care?
really had to pick, I would probably go the opposite. I'd probably go Hagar for all the reasons what you just said. I think he's the better singer. I think he's a great entertainer. I think he's great on stage as well. And I get it. There's something to be said about the OG when we talk about bands, especially. And I feel like this was one of the few times where he slid right in, and a lot of the average people out there wouldn't have even known the difference if they hadn't heard, right? Like, I mean, he just picked up right where Dave left off. And I liked some of their new stuff, with him, with the stuff they made with him. I really like a lot of those songs. And quite honestly, it's probably, Hagar is probably the reason he's the reason why I got into Van Halen in the first place. Yeah. I came in late to the scene, and he won me over. And I still love Dave, but yeah, I would go Sammy Hagar. Yeah, I like I said, I go with sort of what, and that was my first, I grew up on Diamond Dave, and so that's always been my thing. But I definitely love Hagar Van Halen. Yeah. I mean, my first concert ever was Van Hagar. It was 5150 tour, Meadowlands Arena, 1986. BTO opening band. They rocked. It was, I absolutely destroyed it. So I always will love Van Halen all around. Yeah. But my preference would be DLR. Okay. That's just me. But I like it. It's all good stuff to me, man. It's all good music. Yeah. So, me too. All right. So that was one of my honorable mentions. So Mark, what's another honorable mention for you? Let's go with All I Do Is Win.
Oh, All I Do Is Win. All right.
I mean, again, it's just one of those songs that people can sing along to, and it's on point for a tailgate.
Nice.
For a team. Yeah.
Oh,
that was one of the ones that I, challenged myself to go a little deeper than my usual 80s, 90s music. That was definitely one of them.
Oh, here we go. Let's play a little bit. Let's play a little bit of this.
Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up. And they stay there, and they say
That's a good one, man.
And they say there.
Good honorable mention.
I could roll in to the parking lot playing this song, blasting it as I'm finding my parking spot. Just blast this music out. Yeah, this is definitely a go-to.
It's a good go-to. I like that. I like it. That is a good one, man. Good one.
Thanks.
Good one. I was not expecting that to be on your list, but I'm glad it is.
Yeah.
It's a good one. All right, so another one on my my honorable mention, and this was almost in the top 5, man. It really was. It was so close. This is like, if I was to put my list on, it's number 6. Like, so it just below Creeping Death, which people would be like, what? How? But anyway, it's Cult of Personality by Living Colour.
Oh, yeah, great
what
call.
A riff.
Great call.
Yeah, and then obviously anybody who's a wrestling fan out there knows too, like great wrestling opening song too. So just a great song. Everybody hears that riff and everybody's like, it's like people come up from like, it's great. It's a good one.
I mean, I think that we've definitely defined that a good tailgate song has to have a strong riff somewhere in there.
Has to. You gotta. It's the hook, right? It's the thing that gets everybody like, oh yeah, another great air guitar kind of a tune, but kind of a good rallying song.
Yes,
that Cult of Personality.
Absolutely.
So, all right, that was on my list. What else is on your list?
And I'll say, Chris, that was one I wouldn't have seen you pick. Yeah. So that's cool.
Oh, I love Living Colour, and Cult of Personality is such a freaking good song. I gotta imagine mostly everybody's heard Cult of Personality. I mean, that's one.
I mean, you never know. It depends on how old you are if you're listening right now.
All right, so maybe I'll do a little bit of Cult of Personality.
I mean, hopefully you've heard it at some kind of sporting event.
So everybody can hear the riff here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's got the little
right down to earth in a land English that everybody here can easily understand.
Let's
I
go.
mean,
Everybody.
Look in my eyes, what do you see? The cult of personality.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
that's a killer.
yeah, you may have won with that song, Chris. That's a great one.
That's a killer. It is
Yeah.
a total killer.
All right, you want one more honorable mention?
Yeah, let me get another honorable mention from you.
Industry Baby, Little Nas.
Whoa.
Yep.
Wow. All
Yep.
right.
Yeah, this
Look
is
at you, man.
Yeah, again, stretching, trying to go outside my usual box, and I love hearing this song for any kind of motivation. If I hear
Yeah.
this song, I'm pumped up for it.
All right, let's hear that for anybody out there who's never heard this one. I think you guys are all gonna. There's got to be a bunch of people out there who knows, but let's
Yeah.
let's sample it for everybody here.
Grammys on him, couple plaques, ayy, that's a fact, ayy, throw it back, ayy, throw it back, ayy, and this one is for the champion.
Yes.
Ain't lost since I began, yo. Funny how you said it was a year, yo. You know we did it again, yo. I told you long ago on the road, I got what they waiting for. Don't run from nothing, dog. Get your soul, just tell them ain't laying low. You was never really rooting for me anyway. When I'm back up at the top, I wanna hear you say.
All right.
I see like the athletes getting
Yeah.
ready, warming up to this music.
Right.
You know, like I can just see this as a way to get yourself ready for game day.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
No, that's a solid one, man. Good pick. Good honorable mention. There.
Thank you.
Good honorable mention. All right. So I already said that Sabotage definitely would have made my list for sure. That's on my honorable mention.
Mhm.
But I'm gonna wrap it up with one more, just so we can keep the show moving here. But here is one more that is definitely on my list. It's an honorable mention, and that is "Bring the Noise" by Anthrax and Public Enemy. Anthrax, Public Enemy.
Okay.
Great pairing. Good psych up song. Lots of fun. People love "Bring the Noise."
Yes. All right.
That's a good
yeah,
one.
and another one that surprises me too. I wouldn't have called that for you.
Yeah. So, it's, in case nobody's heard this one, here's a little bit. Here's a little bit of "Bring the Noise," Anthrax, Public Enemy, which we've also done on the show before too.
Please, how low can you go? Death row? What a brother, no. Once again, back is the incredible rhyme animal, the uncannibal Public Enemy #1. 5 freeze, and I got numb. Can I tell them that I really never had a gun? But it's the wax that the Terminator X fun. Now they got me in a cell, cause my records they sell. Cause a brother like me said, well, Farrakhan's a prophet, and I think you wanna listen to what he can say to you. What you ought to do is follow for now. How will the people say? Make a miracle. Pump the lyrical. Black is back all in. We're gonna win. Check it out.
Yeah, yo, come on.
Here we go again.
Turn it up.
Bring the noise.
I mean, geez. That's definitely a good one. And usually too, you'll hear that too. Like a lot of times, like on a fourth down, like or they're going for like fourth down, or they're going for it's like turn it up. You're bringing
Yeah.
noise. They'll play in
Yeah.
between. So it's a good one, man. It's a good
Yeah.
crowd pleaser for sure.
I like that.
Yeah,
Good call.
yeah. Thank you. Yeah. So that was on my own. I have other ones, but you know what? We'll keep it to the three, and we'll keep moving on here because I know everybody wants to hear what our number ones are going to be here.
Yes. And did you see Dave's honorable mention?
Here is Dave's
I'm
honorable
curious
mention.
what you think about that.
Prince, "When Doves Cry." Wow.
Hmm.
So cool riff. Not exactly a psych up song for me, Dave.
Yeah, me
in
neither.
Tailgating. Excellent song overall because
100%.
Purple Rain is an extraordinary record from front to back. Also, by the way, celebrating a 40th anniversary this year is Purple
Oh,
Rain.
wow.
I know, right? But not on my tailgate playlist, but overall, an amazing song.
Agreed.
And great riff, too. But
It's
doesn't
a
get
little
the
too
crowd
slow
going.
for me too. It's a little too slow.
Maybe one that I listen to on the way home, actually. Because usually I'm like, I'm coming down. So, I'm just decompressing. Probably would throw that on because I've been known to throw Purple Rain on. It just go. So,
Yeah.
that not a bad one. Yeah. And Purple Rain. Yeah, of course. I mean, once again, not a good tailgate song, great driving home tune. And of course, this nothing beats the guitar solo of Purple Rain, and nothing beats Prince playing Purple Rain in the rain at the Super Bowl. Still one of the, I don't care what anybody says, the #1 Super Bowl performance.
Yeah.
That, nothing's going to beat that. There have been great Super Bowl performances. If you don't go back and watch it on YouTube, everybody, every year I repost it. Nothing comes close to watching Prince play Purple Rain in the rain at the Super Bowl and rip that solo.
By the way, that would be a cool topic, or, cool songs to swap, are songs you would listen to maybe even after your team loses.
Ooh.
What songs would you listen to on the way home?
Wow, that is a good one. We'll have to throw that on. We'll throw that on the wheel. I like that one, actually. That's a really good one. Yeah. After the defeat.
Yeah, it's almost like breakup songs, but it's specifically when your team loses.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad. I like that one. That's a good one. All right, so here we go. Here are our #1 songs.
Yes. You want me to go take the first? All right, I'll take it first.
Mark, you are the guest, so I will let you go first. It's only right. It's only fair.
And, as we've played my songs, I feel like now this isn't the #1. It still would be on my top 5, but now hearing back some of my songs, I might switch it up. But for this discussion, my #1 pick, and again, this would be something that I would like to play right toward the end of the tailgate. Living on a Prayer, Bon Jovi.
Oh, I was waiting for that to show up. I had a feeling, because none of us had said it, and I was like, it is in the mix on my playlist, but it's not my top 5, so it's not my #1. But I could see why it makes your top 5, and I agree. Nothing is better. That is a great sing along. Any event, people love singing that chorus.
And Don't Stop Believing, right? You got to always stop believe in your team. You got to cheer them on. Yeah.
Yep. Living on a Prayer, man. Good one. And actually, Ryan Adams just released a version. I didn't listen to it yet, but I saw Ryan Adams just released a version of Living on a Prayer.
Really?
Yeah, he's been doing all these like covers of rock and metal songs and stuff like that from back in the day.
That's cool.
Yeah. All right. So, oh man, who's not heard Living on a Prayer? But, yeah, you know what though? But we're gonna give her.
You have to.
You got to play. All right, here we go. Here's some Living on a Prayer here. Tommy and Tina working on the dock. Quintessential Jersey song.
I mean, good way to do it. Yeah. On her own.
She says we gotta hold on to what we've got. It doesn't make a difference if we make it or not. We got each other, and that's a lot for love. We'll give it a shot. Oh, halfway there. Oh, give me all a prayer. Take my hand, we'll make it, I swear.
There you go. I mean, just that part alone is worth the price of admission.
Mm-hmm.
You know? I mean, that is a solid pick, man.
Thanks. Cool. I'm glad you liked it. I wasn't sure where. I mean, I know you like this music too, and I wasn't sure if you would agree that this could be a top 5.
No, I think it is a top 5 for sure, especially, especially being a Jersey guy. But like it's a great solid pick. It's a great solid pick.
Okay, cool.
And it absolutely belongs on a tailgate playlist for sure. It's a good crowd pleaser, gets everybody going. And I like it. I like it, man. Solid #1 pick. Solid
Awesome.
#1 pick.
Thank you.
Now, my #1 pick, because I did say AC/DC was going to be making another appearance here today. And this one, and it's not Back in Black, by the way, everybody. So I agree. And by the way, Back in Black is always in the mix. Don't get me wrong. And
Especially if your team is, your uniforms are black, like, I mean, that has to be in the mix.
Has to be in the mix.
Yeah.
Nope. My song pick by AC/DC, and there's a reason. Being a New York Giants fan, right? We always listen to this song. This is the last song we listen to. And why? Because this is what the Giants come out to. And that is Hell's Bells. by
Oh,
AC/DC. You like, and then there's a reason. And I know Mark and I've been talking a lot about sports here, so we're talking about sports. I mean, obviously there's concerts and all that, but specifically what I've been having in my mind here today is what I do when I go to the football games here in New Jersey to go see the Giants play. And Hell's Bells is what we play before. That is the song we play before we walk in. The last song of the playlist. Why? Because that's what the Giants come out to. So we are like focused and we're ready to bring the energy and ready for the team to come and hit the field. And Hell's Bells is it. I mean,
has that been going on for years that's their opener?
It's been going on for quite a long time. I'd probably
Interesting.
say, I can't even remember when the heck it started now at this point. It wasn't always that way. It may have started when Strahan was on the team. I can't remember and anybody who's listening, any Giants fans out there, I know I'm probably like, oh my God, but any Giants fans out there, if you guys can remember exactly when the team started doing Hell's Bells, it'd be great. But just let me know, because I can't even remember when they started doing it, but it's been a thing now for a lot of years. And they come out, they take the field, and Hell's Bells. So I think everybody knows this one, but
You got to hear it.
you got to hear it, right? You got to hear
Yeah.
it. You got to hear it. Okay, here we go. Let me get it queued up here.
And while you're doing that, Jackie, I totally agree with you that honorable mention to Enter Sandman. Absolutely, Enter Sandman should be.
Like, it's not fast, it's not loud, not loud in the sense it's not thrash metal or anything, but it's just that boom, it's just heavy.
It's that
like,
angry,
yes.
pumped up. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I
those
mean,
bells
ready to
really,
go.
the bells really make it. You can,
yeah.
and in stadiums, sometimes that's all they play, are just the bells.
Yeah, exactly.
Just to get people pumped up and excited, third and long or whatever, and then you hear those bells playing. Absolutely.
Yeah, and fun fact about that song is they actually had the bell recorded. They had it commissioned and created just for the recording of that.
Wow.
Of Back in Black. So
cool.
And and actually Back in Black celebrating an anniversary.
Yeah.
Released in 1980.
Wow. Wow.
Crazy, right? Yeah. It's been a long time. But yeah, so that's actually celebrating an anniversary right now too. But yeah, Hell's Bells, AC/DC, number one on my list, consistently number one for sporting events, particularly for the New York Giants. That's the song we listen to before we walk in to the stadium. That's it. Boom.
Cool.
Hell's Bells. Okay, let's go in. Boom. Go through all the stuff. Get in the stadium, and then literally hear it again when the team comes out. But still.
Yeah.
They need that energy, man. They need that support.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Music's a great way to do it.
So, all right, everybody. So let's just recap the list right here, because in case you're just tuning in now and you're like, what the heck? So we just did, Mark and I shared our top five tailgating list. And once again, this list today is meant to be a primer. It's a starter list. I mean, you put on whatever you want. This is all about you, your music, your culture, what gets you and your crew psyched up. And in particular, Mark and I are just sharing, this is what what we like and what our crew likes. So what did we hear today? So I'll start with our number 5. So my number 5, I'll go through my list. My 5 was Creeping Death by Metallica, BroHym by Pennywise, The Trooper by Iron Maiden, The Boys I'm Back in Town by Thin Lizzy at my number 2, and my number 1, Hell's Bells by AC/DC. Mark, what was your list?
My list, my number 5, my number 5, We Will Rock You, Queen. Sabotage, number 4. Number 3, Seven Nation Army, followed by Thunderstruck, and the number 1, Living on a Prayer.
There you go. And of course, we went through some of our honorable mentions as well. So listen, guys, let us know in the comments below, yes or no, did you like these? Obviously, if you're listening to the show on the go over on Spotify, you can actually comment. So let us know. We'd love to hear from you. And if you're on Facebook, YouTube especially, which is where you can watch the show on demand, always on YouTube, drop it in the comments below. Let us know what would have been on your list. Are any of these songs even on your list? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Whatever. We want to hear from you. Anything. And who do you guys support? What team do you get? What team are you into? I want to hear that too. Want to hear that too. All right. So, Mark, this has been a really fun show. Really fun show. Thanks again for hanging out with me this week.
You're welcome.
Amanda is not here next week. So,
Right.
I don't know if you're into coming back for one more time.
I love hanging out with you. I love doing this show.
And we did talk about doing something potentially.
Yes.
Which could be a lot of fun. So
I think so.
we're not going to spin the wheel this week because we already have something cooked up here that I think would be a lot of fun. And I don't want to reveal. Should I reveal it? I don't know. Or should I wait? Should I wait to say it on social media? What do you think, Mark?
I mean, might as well give it a little tease.
All right. So let me give a little tease. So we've been dabbling a little bit here. As of course, our new opening song is created by AI. Randall, great friend of the show, who's just been awesome to us all throughout the years. Randall took it upon himself to write a song that he created with the help of AI that is now being used as our new theme song. And I will play a little song that I created for our Amanda Sharp for her birthday. But we are going to be delving into some AI music next week, giving some of our reviews, taking a look at stuff. We're still working on it behind the scenes, but just doing some AI based music next week. We're to switch it up just a little bit, break it up a little from the normal format, but we're not straying too far. Like today, we weren't rating things on 1 to 5 records. We just made lists and we're swapping our lists. So we're working on it behind the scenes, but it's going to be a little AI generated music for next week's show. So really excited about that.
Me too.
And I'm getting eyes from Mama Jack. Dave Manley said, I gotta give it to Mark today. Queen Bee Season Stripes put it over the top for me.
Nice.
So is Mark the winner?
I'll take
Might
it.
be the winner of Song Swap Showdown. Yeah, great song, Randall. I agree 100%.
Yeah.
So, all right, everybody. Well, hey, listen, once again, thank you all so much for hanging out with us today. Of course, you can check out the show anywhere you get podcasts, literally anywhere. And of course, you can always watch us on demand on YouTube. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and the little bell so you get notified every time we go live or drop new videos over there. And also hit the follow button anywhere you listen to podcasts. And of course, thank you once again to everybody on Radio Garden State who've been checking us out. Thank you, Mike Ham, for giving us the space on there. And make sure you check out Radio Garden State all day long, all week long. It's not even just today. All week long, Radio Garden State is providing all kinds of amazing content today. Of course, there's music going on throughout the day, all Jersey-based bands for the most part. We got a morning music block. Then at 12 o'clock, Readings from the Garden State is on from 12 to 1. And then keep it tuned for the Sleevey G show, by the way. Great show from 2 to 2:30. And then more music. And then, of course, Mike Ham is live from 4 to 6 p.m. on Radio Garden State Happy Hour, 6 o'clock at CoMG Tarot. Then we have Dystopia tonight with John Pomavaro. And then, of course, a rerun of this show at 8 o'clock. So if you missed it, make sure you tune in tonight for a rerun of Song Swap Showdown with me and Mark Ronick. Mark, thank you so much once again for hanging out with us today. Really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me, Chris.
Absolutely, my friend. And so I am going to leave you guys with one last song. Here is a happy birthday song that I created for Amanda.
Oh.
Using AI. This is Amanda's birthday dream. I did it in the style of yacht rock because we know how much Amanda loves yacht rock. So I'm going to play us out with some of this, and then we will see you guys next week. All right. Hopefully this works. Let's see. Let's see if this is going to work out. All right. See you guys. Thanks so much for watching. Little Amanda's birthday dream. Happy birthday, Amanda. We love you.
Happy birthday.
Sunrise on the ocean waves. Amanda's dreaming of brighter days. The salt air whispering her name. Smiling wide, we'll play this game. Golden rays, they light her face. Time that moves at a gentle pace. Hear the seagulls singing too. Birthday wishes under blue lagoon. Amanda, it's your special day. Let the breezes guide our way. We'll sail away on dreams so high. With birthday love, we'll touch the sky.
It's definitely yacht rock.
Oh, yeah.
In the harbor, soft guitar sound.
It's great.
Friends and laughter all around.
I can't wait to do this episode.
Champagne bubbles rising slow underneath that sunset glow. Candlelight and the ocean song.